England's riots against wolf liberty, revolution, with their sights set on establishing their own kingdom away from the evil queen's jurisdiction. My granny was very active in the revolution and caught a nasty cold during one of the demonstrations, a hunger strike if I recall. We knew she needed to get her strength up, so my mother packed a basket of goods and sent me to deliver it to Granny's house on the other side of the woods. I would like to take a moment to reiterate this. My mother sent her only daughter into the woods alone in the midst of wolf attacks and a revolution. See what I mean? Terrible parenting. It was during this journey to Granny's house when I infamously encountered the big bad wolf himself, and the rest of my extraordinary story took place. While we're on the subject, I have something to get off my chest. Over the years, I have been criticized for telling the big bad wolf that I was headed to my granny's house, followed by directions of how to get there. However, this should not be a testament to my judgment, but once again to bad parenting. My mother and father never sat me down and said, "Red, if you meet a wolf in the woods, don't give him your itinerary." If they actually cared about my well-being, they would have properly warned me. And another thing. As I said earlier, my granny was involved in several revolutionary protests in those days. She was always dressing up in weird outfits. So when I walked into her bedroom and saw the big bad wolf lying in her bed, I had no reason to believe it wasn't her. Any logical girl would have thought the same thing. Phew, I'll sleep much better knowing that I put that in writing. I assume you know what happened next, but I'll tell you anyway. The big bad wolf gobbled me up in one bite, and I met up with Granny in his stomach. We spent 2 days inside the wolf's belly, but it really wasn't as unpleasant as one would imagine. Once we got used to the smell, it was rather warm and comfortable. Luckily, Granny had managed to grab a deck of cards as the wolf swallowed her, so we improved our gambling skills as we awaited rescue. Eventually, my parents grew concerned and asked a hunter to help them look for me. The hunter found the wolf at Granny's house in the exact spot he had eaten me. Apparently, Granny and I were too much for him to digest, and he was experiencing a miserable food coma. The hunter killed the wolf with one slice of his axe, and Granny and I fell out of him like candy out of a piñata. By the time we were saved, the crawl revolution was over. The villagers and farmers had successfully separated from the Northern Kingdom. All they needed now was a name for the kingdom, and someone to lead them. Word quickly spread through our unsupervised and unnamed kingdom about Granny's and my brave encounter with the big bad wolf, probably because I told everyone who would listen. We were called before the Crawl Committee, which consisted of a farmer, a shepherdess, 3 village elders, and a chicken. I'm still not sure how the chicken was appointed. They were mesmerized by our story and felt we embodied the kingdom's struggles, so they asked Granny to be queen. "Who? Me?" Granny said. "I'm not sure I'm up for all that pomp and circumstance. I don't have the hips for it." "Then what about Billy Bobkins?" the farmer asked the committee. "He's got great leadership qualities, and he's more respected than anyone else in my village." "Billy Bobkins is a goat," the shepherdess said. "Since when do we discriminate?" the farmer said. "Perhaps someone young," Granny suggested. "Forming a kingdom is going to take a lot of energy." It was one of those moments that exist only in legends, fables, and shaky fruit plays. The committee all turned and looked at me in unison, as if their eyes were drawn to me by a higher power. And by the way, it wasn't because I was jumping up and down, waving my arms above my head, and shouting, "Pick me, pick me, pick me." That is a vicious rumor I would like to put to rest. I knew I had to act fast before the committee put the kingdom's fate in the wrong hooves. I stepped forward, placed one hand over my heart, and raised the other into the air, and recited my sacred oath as queen. I, fabulous Little Red Riding Hood, solemnly swear to govern this kingdom, to serve its people, and to guide it to prosperity, so help me God. The committee stared at me with very blank expressions. I may not have been their first choice, but all of them were in awe of my natural instinct to take initiative. Clearly, I was born to rule. "All in favor of Queen Red Riding Hood, say aye," the shepherdess said. The committee members looked at one another and shrugged. They couldn't name another candidate, because I was undoubtedly the best option. "Aye," the committee said in unison. From that moment forward,